This is the Familiar Feline ASMR. Today we are going to be taking a look at my sewing machine. This one is my computerized Singer. It is a Quantum Stylist 9960. I do have one other machine. It is not computerized. It is a vintage machine from, I think, 1953. It is very pretty, and it is my backup machine. So if this one ends up in the shop, I can still sew, but it currently has a piece broken on it, so it actually needs to go to the shop. So to start, down here we have the kind of built-in ruler, the little measuring tool, which can be pretty useful. And it has this little compartment here. I just use this to store pieces of my machine. Let's see. Here is a different type of foot for this machine. So this piece would replace this piece right here, depending on what I'm sewing. What else is in here? A seam ripper. I use this entirely too often when I'm sewing. It's very easy to sew incorrectly. Just some other types of feet. Here's another type of foot. The foot that I have on it right now is a walking foot, so it helps move your fabric for you. My camera's not focusing. There we go. So this has feed dogs, is what they're called. They are the mechanized parts down here that feed your fabric, and a walking foot has those up underneath here, so your fabric is being fed by the bottom and the top by the walking foot. It's very nice for heavier fabrics and things that wouldn't really get through very easily, so you don't have to force them. And then here, this little piece right here comes off, and underneath is a bobbin, which is your bottom thread. And right now I have the black in it that I used to fix my son's pants earlier. And you just turn it to the side, feed it through, and then replace this. And there is this piece here, which is an automatic threader, so you can thread your needle easier. I never use it. Back here is a little blade, so you can pull your thread here when you're done and cut it really easily. And then this right here, I might have to cut that out, that's pretty loud. It drops your foot, so when you have your fabric in place, you can drop it, and when you're done, you just pop it up again, and then you have that space down in here. It has a lot of different features on it. I need to get my internal scissors sharpened. They don't work it doesn't really work anymore. But if you press this button, it snips the thread, so you don't have to manually cut or reset your thread every time. Here's the speed, so you can have it go slow or fast. This button will do a back stitch, and this one, I can't remember what it does. I never use this button for anything. And if you don't want to use the pedal, you can use this to start and stop, though I prefer the control that the pedal gives me. And over here are different kinds of quick stitch options. So this one right here makes a buttonhole. This does this type of stitch, and there's a zigzag stitch, a very fine one, and that stitch, and a larger zigzag stitch. And this changes where the needle hits into the fabric. So if you need it to over or in the middle or to the left, you can choose. And then over here are all the buttons you use to navigate the menu. I can actually turn this on real quick. Okay, so now I have it turned on. You can see the nice lighting that it has, and our start stop button is red since it's off, and the computer part is up, so we can hit any of these buttons, and you can also see the needle moving. This right here is when you're working with 2 needles, and this makes a dart, so the needle will go up and down in the same spot about 5 times. It's just a way to keep your thread from unraveling without having to use the back stitch. So I can go into here and we can change where the needle sits. We can change the length of the stitches. And if we go here, we can change the size of the stitch just by adding or subtracting. And here we can see all of the stitches that this machine has to offer. This one right here is for buttons. Oops. There are lots of different stitches that this machine does. It's primarily for like quilting. So it has a lot of nice decorative stitches, some leaves, and like maple leaves, and some hearts there. These ones are buttonholes, so it will sew this pattern here, and then you cut the fabric in the middle. And we can go here to the more decorative type of stitches. So there's things like dogs and hearts and flowers. These are more for embroidery. Flowers and houses and trains. And a butterfly, a dove. And let's see, we can go in here and look at the different kinds of letters. So you can use this to select your letters, and then it will sew them. And this right here too tells you which foot you need to use. You can't use a walking foot like I have there with embroidery. It doesn't work. Let's see. Go through and just see numbers and all sorts of stuff. And we can clear it and see. There we go. And then we can use this button to go through the different types of letters we can use. I moved the camera up a little bit higher so you can see the top of the machine. It does have all of the types of stitches up at the top here. And this is where our upper thread fits. It has these handy little numbered directions to show you how to thread the yarn into the machine. And then you just feed it through the needle, and you want to make sure you have enough of a tail that it doesn't get sucked back up into the machine. That is all that I am going to show you. I'm not going to sew or anything because this machine is quite loud. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you can like, share, comment, and subscribe on my work, that would be extremely helpful to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really great